gonna be late. Let's go. What's going on, guys? We are back again with another first place undefeated deck profile. It is the release date of Phantom Nightmare. Cards are now legal at locals, and this man has taken advantage and gone undefeated with his Simple Spoils.
Just call it Snake Eyes Fire King post Phantom Nightmare.
Yeah.
Just call it that.
Talk to us about your rounds, my friend.
Okay, so what's up, YouTube? Today I played Snake Eyes Fire Kings just locals, and I went 2-0. Beating everyone fairly simple, fairly fast. It's an advantage to have the cards on the day of release when not everyone has access to them immediately. And this deck is it's very powerful. Maybe in a tier 0 format, we're going to see. So I'm going to show you guys the deck, I guess. The rounds were essentially just some rogues, some mirrors, or mirrors without the fire cards, and rescuers. It's all the same. Yeah. This deck just beats them.
Let's jump straight into it.
Okay, cool. So we'll start with the engine. So we'll start with the Snake Eyes engine, which is pretty standard on all of this. So Flame Bird you only play one of unless you're playing the pure version. Oak is here to simply play around draw, help you with that. Poplar, so if you draw one, you can still search the second one. 3 Snake Eyes Ash, your best normal summon, and then 3 Bonfires to act as Rotor. This is pretty much a standard accepted engine for a Snake Eyes package. There's not really much to say about that. Then for the Fire Kings, 3 Kirin, not really much to say there. 1 Garinix. You don't really need more than one of this now because we play limited Fire Kings, so there's not really a way to trigger it too consistently. 1 Ponix because you don't want to summon Ponix, you want to search it and special summon it. And then 1 Avada. Avada helps you play around hand traps. For the spells, we do 2 Fire King Island, 1 Sanctuary, and 1 Circle. So I really wanted to cut this ratio down from 1-1 to 2-1 to 1-1, but I needed a 40th card, and I thought, well, this is not bad for follow-up.
Yep.
And there's not really much else to play.
That answers my question on how many cards in the main deck. So there's 40 cards.
And then Circle was played as like another way to like push through battle and like essentially more so invalidate people who are playing Veilers and Imperms. You can just tag out and dodge.
Yeah.
And it also, because it's any fire monster, you can also bring back your Fire Links as well, or you can trigger other cards. So yeah, really good card deck. Next we have the Simple Soils package, so 3 Witch, 3 Wanted, 1 Original, and then 1 for 1, which is like a 4th copy of Witch. So the theory is you can play this full package if you want more consistency, or you can pick up 2 Witch and a 1 for 1, and then put these 3 slots towards more non-engine slots. I like to have consistency, so I like to have access to these cards, which essentially help you play around the hand traps now.
Yeah.
So that's that. And then we have 12 spots for non-engine. So play 3 Droll. Droll is just probably the most effective hand trap against this deck now standalone, but no hand traps really stop this deck completely. But this is the best one to do it as standalone. Ash, only because it is a fire card. If this was not a fire hand trap, I probably wouldn't play it. It's just very vulnerable, just because the deck has so much follow-up. 3 Talents, because Talents actually helps you beat the deck when you go second into the boards. You can force their hand to interact, and if they summon Appaloosa, you can just take their Appaloosa, and then they have to play through their own negates, and you can just resolve effects freely. And in going first, the only way this deck is usually stopped is by hand traps. So if you don't resolve full combo, you can then use Talents to follow up to see their hand and know how to play around it. And then 3 Imperms, which I'm not sure how I feel about this card in the mirror match, but it does stop Apo for game 1 at least.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's it for the main deck of 40 cards. We'll go to the extra deck next. Extra deck is fairly standard, so it's just 1 Apo, which is what you use for IP, or in the case of what I was doing, I like to end on Apo before I go into my Fire King line, so that way I'm insulated against Ash, insulated against Nibiru, and all the other hand traps. one Zelantis Raging Phoenix for the OTK line. So this OTK line is just much more consistent than Access Code now, where it's just very easy to get to. One Ambler Whale, which is like one of your end boards. So generally your end board will leave the island face up. If you have this one face up with Flame Burge and an IP Masquerena, which is one of your end boards, the Cosmic Cyclone or whatever they do to get rid of the island is largely invalidated because this brings back the IP and the Flame Burge triggers to bring back 2 ones.
Okay, cool.
And then this also gives you more interaction in graveyard by banishing it to do another destruction.
Yeah.
Selene is here because it can bring back witches, but it also just can help you get into the Apo very easily, so it can make a Charmer monster go into Apo very easily.
Yep.
Heat Soul because it's part of your combo lines when you want to draw one. 2 copies of Promethean Princess. I am a believer that you need 2 copies of this because if you have only one and you get nipped, you need to have a second to follow up to play through the nib.
Yep.
Also, it's really good in the grind. 1 copy of Sunlight Wolf, which is just generic fire again, it's fire support generic. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. It's a fire monster because under Promethean Princess you do get locked in the fires, so you need to have more monsters to link into. The Charmers, which are just bridge lines into like everything else, like the Fire deck mirror matches are very relevant to have Heater, and then everyone who's not playing Fire more than likely has D Bellstar, so you can use this to take the Black Witch and use their effect as your own.
Yep.
1 Little Knight, and then pretty much standard. 1 IP Masquerena, which is part of your end board combos to interact, and 1 Link Reaper to convert your level 1s into darks. Additionally, if you special summon back your level 1s, and you have Apo at 1600, as long as you have level 1 on field, your opponent can never attack over your Apo because you can trigger this, just bring it back.
Okay, cool.
Side deck is like not very good, but it's like what you're going with at the moment. We're trying out 3 Ghost Bells, see how it works. I don't know if I want to keep this card in. Called by the Grave, this is a go first option. Lightning Storms for all the rogue matchups. Dark Ruler for anything that like sets up a lot of negations going first, because this deck can have a little trouble playing through multiple negations. Cosmic for anything that plays back row, and then I have a tech card here that I don't really want to show yet, but it's a go first slot side.
Okay, awesome. Very good. Well, thank you very much, my friend. Do you have any shout-outs?
Thank you to Guff for essentially letting me get one of the populars that I didn't have on the day of release. So shout out to them because I could not play the deck without it.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye.